This is Area A to... Today is July 17th. This is Area A, west elevation. They've begun the framing infill above the hung steel. It looks like it's mostly complete, still missing quite a few areas. And to the left, we're missing some framing on the end panel. This work was started between a week ago and now. This week, last time, none of this was installed. This is 15 line. We've been erecting scaffold here for a week or so. We need to plank it out to green tag it. On the work itself, we need the waterproofer to come in, finish the last 2 feet of this base elevation so that we can insulate and begin our brick layout. We also need to insulate. Before we insulate, we need the steel erectors to adjust all the hung lintels and finish any fireproofing that's missing. This is an area that's been held up because of Bolton 83, which is some site work and concrete work that's been occurring. We were given this area 2 weeks ago, and we are about to start on it very shortly as soon as the predecessors are complete. This is line number 15. This is an area that has had multiple issues and still does that are preventing us from starting our brick. We've been able to only install partial insulation and ties where available, which is second floor, third floor only. The issues are all of the relieving angles had to be cut because they protruded out too far. Some were twisted and are still being worked on. The concrete had some blowouts from the framer, and the framing needed to be increased at the corners due to the framing engineering, which is still open and incomplete, which prevents us from starting the brick at the bottom. They're also performing an insulation mock-up inside the cavity where you see this gentleman working. That insulation has to be removed so that we can insulate behind it. That's what he's doing now. We should be able to get back on this area, we're told, in about a week, which is to finish the insulation and start the brick. Another delay is the headers above the door opening are not tied in, also preventing us from insulating the wall. So this elevation sits as it has for the past 7 months. This is building C. You can see that it's mostly unframed. There's a few spots that track has been laid out, but not much progression. This is the last scheduled area to be worked on. We're just showing you the status today, July 17th, 2018. You can also see some of the B elevation in the background. This is Area A. You're looking at brick that has been laid on BB line on the second and third floor, and that's going to continue to the right, which is B12 line. We're about to start laying brick there as the area was just made available to us. There were structural window reinforcements that had to happen first. So we're going to add masons there. And then to the left, you'll see that's line 20, which is CMU veneer. That also has become available to us now. We are about to start laying that out and laying those CMU. This is what we call elevation number 1. It's the first area of scaffold that we erected. This area was on hold for several reasons. Corner reinforcing engineering occurred, window stacking issues, intumescent paint or lack of, and Bolton 100 affected this as well. The area has now been released, therefore we have installed some insulation and ties to lay the brick out and continue. Even though in front of us on this corner, we have to stop at the end. We can't finish it and complete it 100% because they still have an issue at the corner. But we're going to proceed with what we can for the moment. We're on the second floor, west elevation of Building A, number 1. This is what we call elevation number 2, second floor, west of Building A. We have completed the brick as far as we can up to the 6th floor roof, but not further because there's a lack of parapet framing to finish. We are in the process of washing it down now to call it complete as far as we can. From this corner to the left, where the slab depression is, there's an issue here in terms of the slab layout being wrong. So we've left it out for now. We'll have to come back to it. Otherwise, this elevation is 80% complete. You're going to go bottom up and let me know when you're ready. This is the end of the A building towards the connector, which is the south elevation. We are looking at the CMU veneer. You can see that it's complete from the 2nd floor where we are up into the 6th floor where we had to stop because there's no parapet framing in place at all. So we are almost complete. We'll have to come back to finish this work. This is also mock-up area. This is the roof elevator penthouse, mechanical penthouses, where they exceed the roof. On this elevation here, the concrete is beyond the metal framing by 2 inches, and they're unsure of how to treat it. We have insulation and brick that wraps all this, but until they tell us how to proceed with this offset of 2-inch problem, we can't go any further. Also note that we also cannot complete the elevators past the roof deck because they weren't framed, they weren't fireproofed. I can see that it looks substantially done now. I don't know if it's been signed off on, but that was a remobilization cause 2 months ago. So we're going to find out when we can come back and finish this work. This is the roof of Area A. You can see our elevation number 2 is missing the parapet wall that we need to put our brick onto to finish the elevation off. We are currently stuck at this height and cannot go any further until they install some structural supports and the cold metal framing on the parapet that go from the roof deck that you see up about 5 or 6 feet, and that's where our wall completes. So this is what we call elevation number 2, has paused because we don't have the framing. As we pan around, this is the CMU elevation we saw earlier. This also cannot be completed. And then we come around towards the ocean, and this is 15 line. And you see there's no parapets, and this is the condition at the entire roof. There is not any parapet walls built. Therefore, no elevations can be topped out until these items are installed. So this is affecting us at Area 1, Area 2, the CMU 15 line, H line, 20 line, BB line, B12 line currently. Those are all areas that we have or had masons work as far as they can and had to stop.